Hello, hope you guys having a nice day. I'm making this video just to quickly share with you guys what I think about Amazon PPC and SEO and how things can go wrong and costly. For example, if you don't understand fully about how keyword match types work on Amazon and how to leverage them in your PPC targeting and especially in your negative targeting, you may end up wasting a lot of money on ineffective keywords, right? Or if you don't fully understand about the relationship between search volume and competition of a keyword, or the relationship between search volume and relevance of a keyword, and just blindly go for high volume keywords without knowing what you are going to face, you may learn a painful lesson after spending a lot of stupid money on PPC and seeing no results in search engine optimization, right? So understanding the basics is like you are equipped with right techniques when you start playing a sport. For example, swimming or playing golf. Like me, I self-learned how to swim as a kid and I didn't do it properly. So after many years, I now can swim, but I cannot put my head under the water and I don't breathe correctly. So I can swim in a swimming pool, but don't throw me out to the ocean because I won't be able to survive. I've learned that lesson, and now for golf, for example, I've decided that I will learn the correct techniques right at the start to avoid years in the future of me being an incompetent player. Right? It's same with anything else, such as online advertising. So in the video below or in the next slide, I don't know which way, if you are watching this in my story, we teach you all critical fundamentals about keywords and how they work on Amazon so that you will be able to advertise effectively in PPC and optimize your listing for the search engine the right way. Last thing, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to get notified about my new content. One thing about my YouTube channel is that I don't have new videos rolling out every week. I'm busy, guys. I'm just honest. I don't have time sitting in front of the camera and making videos whole day. However, whenever I have a new video, I make sure that it's full of quality content and it's worth watching for you guys. Just a few minutes of your day instead of watching a cat dancing, right? I'm just kidding. This is actually a training lesson in my paid mentoring program, which I rarely make it public. So it's worthwhile checking out. All right, I have to go now, and I hope you enjoy watching it. Bye.
Okay, so today I'm walking you through fundamental knowledge about keywords and how to target keywords effectively in Amazon PPC and SEO. So this will be cornerstone of your SEO and PPC strategies in years to come, as long as Amazon search engine still operates on lexical matching alongside with semantic matching, right? The topics we will cover today: what is a keyword and types of keywords, keywords versus search terms, keyword match types on Amazon, and how Amazon indexes a keyword, and how to use negative targeting in Amazon PPC, and understanding the search volume and competition relationship of a keyword, and also understanding the relationship between the search volume and relevance of a keyword. Also, to know what is more important, search volume or relevance. So understanding all of this is an important step to effective PPC and SEO for your product listing on Amazon. And most of these basics actually can be also applied to PPC and SEO on other search engines as well, such as Google or Bing. So let's dive in. What is a keyword? It simply is a search phrase that searchers type in a search box of a search engine to search for something, right? The search engines I'm mentioning here, like Google, YouTube, or Amazon, or Bing. Google, YouTube, and Amazon are the three biggest search engines in the world right now. Of course, Google will also be important to Amazon sellers. Types of keywords, right? As you can see over here, we have transactional keywords and informational keywords. Transactional keywords are keywords that have buying intent. For example, a digital camera water resistant or affordable hotels in Paris. So these keywords imply that the searcher is looking for example, a camera that is digital and water resistant, right? So it's completely opposite to informational keywords where they are used by people who are searching for educational content, such as how to clean a rusty dish rack, right? What is the financial statement? Why can't we see the other side of the moon? Something like that. So people who use informational keywords, they don't have any buying intention. They don't have intention to buy anything. They just doing some research and get more knowledge in a topic, right? So in the boundary of this program and this lesson specifically, I will only talk about transactional keywords because we are talking about Amazon, right? So Amazon is an e-commerce platform, and we are looking into selling our products on Amazon. People go to Amazon usually search for something to buy. They don't go there to search for, why can't we see the other side of the moon, something like that. So the keywords that we are talking about in this session is transactional keywords. And for transactional keywords, we have long tail, short tail, and branded keywords. So what is long tail? What is short tail? A long tail keyword is usually a search term that tells you more about the searcher intent behind the keyword. Usually it's longer and it's more specific. It tends to include around more than 3 words, and is more specific about the product that the searchers is looking for. And it's completely opposite to short tail keywords, where people who use this type of keywords, they don't reveal much about what they are looking for. So short tail keywords are usually generic and shorter. They usually contain 1 to 3 words only. For example, fire pit for outside patio versus fire pit, right? So people who go to Amazon and search for fire pit for outside patio, they know exactly, okay, I'm looking for fire pit for outside or outdoor uses, not indoor fire pit. Whereas people who search on Amazon using the keyword fire pit, basically they don't tell you much about what they want, and probably they don't know exactly what they want. We have so many types of fire pits, right? Different sizes, different functionalities, and purposes, right? Similarly to the second example over here is motivational water bottle, 1 gallon without straw versus water bottle. Obviously, you know that the person who searches for motivational water bottle, 1 gallon without straw, is looking for something very specific of the capacity, and it should not have a straw, right? The water bottle. So she or he doesn't like to have a straw. Whereas people who search for water bottles in general, you don't know exactly what they are looking for, and it's very generic. So these are the examples of long tail and short tail keywords. So if you still remember about the lesson of keyword research, we have highly relevant keywords and broad market keywords. So they are pretty much the same as long tail and short tail keywords, where highly relevant usually are long tail keywords and short tail keywords are usually broad market keywords. Next, we have branded keywords, right? A branded keyword is a keyword that includes a brand name in the phrase, right? So the person who uses a branded keywords, they include the brand name in their search. So branded keywords show you a number of things. Firstly, it shows the advocacy to a brand. If you are a fan of Apple, right, you search for Apple AirPods, something like that. And secondly, people who use branded keywords, they have very high likelihood to convert or to buy your product. In other words, branded keywords usually have high conversion rate. And if you have built a brand that has people searching for your brand frequently, branded keywords is definitely something that you should target in PPC and especially SEO, because in SEO you don't have to pay for a click, right? For example, feeders, a large 1 gallon motivational water bottle. So feeders is the name of a brand, and this is an actual keyword on Amazon. This keyword has over 1,600 searches per month. If you are feeders, right? Of course, you will want to target this keyword. Obviously, people who use this keyword to search, they already know about feeders and they're very specific about what they are looking for. Of course, feeders should definitely target this keyword in their PPC or SEO. Imagine with over 1,600 searches per month, how many products potentially this brand will sell just through this keyword, right? Next topic, we have keyword versus search term or search query. Are they the same or are they different? There are two concepts created for PPC and SEO purposes. At their nature, they are just the same thing, basically phrases of words, right, used for searching. However, they are initiated by two different subjects. Keywords are initiated by advertisers, by sellers, or you are Amazon seller, right? They are what you use to target searchers or shoppers in PPC and SEO. Whereas search terms or search queries are initiated by searchers or shoppers, consumers, basically whoever does a search on Amazon, right? So when you go to Amazon campaign management dashboard, as you can see over here, you have targeting tab where you will put in the keywords that you want to target shoppers on Amazon. And when you go to search terms tab over here, is the search term report. It's where you can see all the actual search terms that have triggered your ads or triggered your product, right, and lead to clicks to your product. So a keyword and a search term can be the same phrase of words or different depending on the keyword match type that you use for a keyword in PPC targeting, which will lead us to the next topic of keyword match types in Amazon PPC and how they work. All right. So when you put the keywords in your targeting over here, depending on the match type that you choose for the keyword, it will lead to different result search term variations that can trigger your ads, right? So that's when we need to really understand about what are the match types that we have in Amazon PPC and how they work. Okay, so in this diagram, you can see we have three main types of match types for keywords that are broad match, phrase match, and exact match. And as you can see here, the level of control that you have on your targeting will decrease or increase if you change from broad match to phrase match and exact match. So exact match is when you have the highest control of your targeting. And if you choose broad match for a keyword, you have the lowest control for your targeting. Okay, so we will dive in further to really understand about these three match types and how they work. So this pretty much universal for all other search engines such as Google or Bing. Google used to have 4 match types for the keyword, but as I remembered, since 2021 or 2020, they started to phase out the 4th type of match type, that is broad match modifier. Now Google only has also 3 types of keyword match types that are broad match, phase match, and exact match. Except that the broad match on Google will function a little bit differently to broad match on Amazon, but it's not the topic that we discussed today. Today is about Amazon PPC and SEO. All right, we will analyze an example to understand better about keyword match types and how they work. For example, if you sell hats for women in black color, right? So you have the keyword women hat black. So if you choose exact match for this keyword, the only search term that will trigger your ads will be woman hat black. So it will be exactly the same as the keyword that you target. It's pretty much what it says on the tin, that it exact match. So it has to be exactly the same. And with the same keyword, if you choose phrase match for it, your product potentially will be shown to different variation of the search terms as long as they have the phrase woman hat black and in exact order as the original keyword, which has woman comes in first place and then you have hat and black, right? Woman hat black. But anything comes in the front of the phrase or at the end of the phrase, basically you don't control them and you don't know what searchers will put in. It really varies and it depends on the behavior of the searchers and what they think in their mind. They can put in anything in here, and that's why on Google as well, I believe that on Amazon there is a certain percentage of search terms on the platform that have never existed before, because the searcher behavior and consumer behavior changes over time, right? So this is when you widen your targeting or other parts you want control, but you ensure that in the search term, it must have women have black phrase in the exact order, all right? So with the same keyword, and if you choose broad match for the keyword, any search term that contains the 3 component words, right? Hat, woman, and black in any order. So they don't have to come in the original order like in phrase match, that when woman has to come first, right? And then hat and black. But they can be anywhere in the search phrase, as you can see over here. Cotton hat for women black color, right? Or here you have hat comes first and then woman and then black. As long as the 3 component words appear in the search phrase, your ads or your products will potentially be shown to these search terms, right? To people who use these search terms. So I hope now you understand clearly, how these 3 match types work. Okay, so this is a recap. Exact match is the strictest targeting option where you only allow your ads to be shown to search term that is exactly the same as the targeting keyword you use, right? And with phrase match, you widen your targeting to more search term variations as long as the search terms contain the original phrase in exact order of the component words, right? And with the broad match, as exactly what it says on the tin, is the broadest targeting where you will allow your ads to be shown to many search term variations as long as the component words appear in the search phrase in any order. So a question, does it mean the broader the worse? No, it depends on your negative targeting and bid strategy in PPC, which I will go over later in the dedicated PPC training sessions. If it's bad to use like broad match or phrase match. There is no reason for them to exist. They must have some benefits and some functions there. That's why they exist. Right? So in advertising, control is good, but should you have absolute control in everything or not? It depends on the situation and how you use the targeting. All right. So next topic is how Amazon indexes or recognizes a keyword. You need to really understand this because knowing that will help you structure your PPC targeting as well as search engine optimization, right? So there is no difference between singular and plural form of the word. For example, hat or hats. In this example, again, if someone uses a search term, woman hats black, right? So hats is the plural form of the noun. Even though you put exact match, your product will still be shown to this search term. And it also doesn't count articles, prepositions, other short words such as and by, for, of, the, with, because these words don't actually have any meaning and they don't tell you anything about features of the product, anything critical about what searchers is looking for, right? So back to the example, if you put the exact match for this keyword and if someone searches for woman hat in black, right? So we have the in between hat and black, your ads or your products will still be shown to this search term because the in word that doesn't make any difference. That's the point. So it doesn't count, and it also doesn't count common misspellings. The search result will still show the correct products, and it also doesn't count punctuation marks such as like comma or full stop, question mark, etc. But it does count the abbreviations. That means there is a difference between mountain bike and MTB, even though MTB means the same thing as mountain bike. But if you sell mountain bikes and if you don't include MTB in, for example, your listing copy or backend, keywords, your listing will not be shown to any search term that contain MTB in it. The search engine doesn't automatically understand mountain bike also means MTB. So you need to include MTB in your listing to ensure that your product will be exposed to many relevant search term variations as possible. Also, it does count the synonyms, right? For example, if you have the word bike in your listing and if you don't have the bike score in your listing copy, the search engine only recognizes bike. And if you don't have bike score, you can't assume that it will understand your product as bike score. And basically, if somebody searches for bike scores, if you don't include bike score in your listing copy or backend keywords, probably your product won't be shown to that searcher, right? And lastly, it does count spelling variations such as color and color. This, US spelling style and this English and Australia spelling style. Similarly to program, something like that, right? So keep this in mind. It's really important to know that how Amazon search engine specifically, recognizes the keyword. Next, we have negative targeting in Amazon PPC. It's really important if you still remember about this question. Does it mean the broader, the worse? No, it depends on negative targeting and bid strategy. So you need to understand what is negative targeting and how it works. So on Amazon, negative targeting can be applied to keywords and products. So in this lesson, we are talking about keywords and keywords targeting, right? We will talk about product targeting later. So when you add a keyword in negative targeting on your Amazon PPC campaign dashboard, you create a negative keyword, right? Similarly to negative products. So using negative keywords will help you avoid irrelevant search terms why you still can leverage the dynamic nature of broad match and phrase match targeting. Okay, so now to this point, you understand what is broad match, what is phrase match, and exact match, right? Back to the screenshot, you have targeting, you have search terms report, and then you have negative targeting over here. So when you go to the tab negative targeting, this is what you have. You have two options of match type for negative keywords, which are exact match and phrase match, as you can see over here. So you put the keyword over here, whatever keyword you want to eliminate in your targeting, and you would choose either negative exact or negative phrase. So we will look into another example to understand how negative targeting works. For example, if you sell running shoes and you want to eliminate fashion shoes, anybody who searches for fashion shoes, you don't want to show your product to them. You put fashion shoes over here. And if you choose negative exact, you will only exclude the exact search term fashion shoes and nothing else. So if somebody searches for fashion shoes large, men, small shoes for fashion, it's still fashion shoes, right? Amazon search engine will still, recognize them as eligible search term and still show your ads to these search terms. Remember that if you choose exact match, you only exclude the exact keyword that you put in. Whereas if you choose phrase match for the negative keyword, you will exclude fashion shoes and all other search term variations that contain the fashion shoes in the exact order. Fashion comes first and then shoes, fashion shoes, right? And then anything come in the front and at the end of the phrase, as long as they have the fashion shoes in the search query, you will exclude them. Any search term that contains fashion shoes. So you have widened your negative targeting where you know exactly that I sell running shoes and fashion shoes have nothing to do with my product. So I will exclude anything related to fashion shoes. And of course, depending on the keywords you target, your products may still be shown to people who search for running shoes or casual shoes, for example. It depends on the keywords you target and the match type you choose for the keyword. So now you understand how to use negative keyword in your targeting. And tips for negative targeting in Amazon PPC. You use phrase match for negative keywords when you are certain that is something your product has nothing to do with. Right? For example, you sell only red hats. You don't have black hats. And if you notice in the search term reports, this is the search term report. You go to search terms and you will see all of the actual search terms that users or shoppers have used and they triggered your ads. And you notice black hats repeatedly triggers your ads, right? And you definitely don't want to target black hats and you don't want to spend any more money on black hats search term anymore because it's irrelevant to your product. So you put either black or black hats in negative keywords and in phrase match, and you will eliminate all search term variations that contain black or black hats, right? And if you use exact match for negative keywords when you only want to eliminate specific search term, but you are still open to its other variations. For example, if you notice in search term report, women hats has triggered so many clicks but very few sales. You sell red hats, right, for women. And women hats at a certain level is relevant to your product, but it's too generic. As I said, if now we understand about long tail and short tail, we understand that this is a short tail keyword, the relevance will be lower to your product. And it triggers so many clicks but few sales. That means advertising cost of sales on this search term is high and you don't have good return on investment on this keyword. So you put women hats as negative keyword, but in exact match only, because you will only eliminate women has only, but still allow your product to be shown to other search term variations, such as women has red for beach, or has for women small. Still women hats, but a lot of variations related to the women hats, right? And you will still allow your product to be shown to these search term variations. Okay, so now we will talk about the relationship between search volume and competition of a keyword. You know, I talk a lot about search volume, and then one day I realized not all of us understand what is search volume. So I can't assume that all of you guys know what is search volume. And I have to put a definition here, is that the average number of times that a keyword is used by searchers in a month to search on a search engine, for example, Google, Amazon, Bing, whatever, and in a specific geography location. I have a number of things here. Firstly is the average number. It's not the exact number, and is the number of searches in a month. And the average number is calculated by the search volume in the last 12 months, the average number of monthly searches in the last 12 months. That is the search volume. So, for example, if a keyword has a search volume of 2,000 on Amazon US marketplace, that means in the last 12 months, on average, 2,000 times the keyword is used by US shoppers to search on Amazon US. Okay, so this is the relationship. We have a positive relationship or correlation between search volume and competition. So the larger search volume is, the higher competition, right? So remember that it's not that easy, right? Because in common sense, we will want to target high search volume keywords. But alongside with high search volume, we will have higher competition. There is a positive correlation. Why higher search volume, you will have higher competition? Because high volume keywords generate a large amount of clicks, right? Therefore, more sellers or more advertisers will want to target them. That is the first thing. And high volume keywords generate many clicks. That will be beneficial for advertising platform, and in this case, specifically Amazon. So Amazon, similarly to Google, usually sets higher prices or bid threshold or recommended bid or whatever you call it for the keywords. If you bid lower than a certain threshold, your product won't be shown to the searchers, or your product won't have any impressions in the search result. So high volume keywords usually mean you will compete with more sellers, higher competition, and in PPC you may have to pay a lot more for a click. That is the relationship between search volume and competition, right? Search volume cost higher is a good thing, but it's not easy. Okay, so next we have the relationship between search volume and relevance. This time, we have a negative correlation between search volume and relevance, and you see the competition on the same side with the search volume. So higher search volume usually means lower relevance. High volume keywords are usually broad and they are generic. They are less specific, and basically they share the same characteristics as a short tail keywords, right? So high volume keywords usually are short tail keywords, and as a result, they will be less relevant to your product. Okay, so why is that? Firstly, because most people don't know what they really want when they shop. Even most of us don't know what we want in life. I'm just kidding, but yeah, that it is a fact. And they will use generic search terms such as like water bottles, yoga pants, something like that. And then they will figure out later what they like after browsing many products, right? So generic keywords or short tail keywords are used by many people. And some of them, some of the shoppers know exactly what they want. They will use more specific and longer search terms, usually will be long tail keywords. For example, water bottle 1 gallon with straw or yoga pants with phone pockets. These specific search terms or keywords usually have smaller search volume because that's not what majority of shoppers do, because majority of the shoppers don't know what they want. That's the key. And lastly, what's more important? Search volume or relevance? Okay, so relevance is always the most important factor, right? In any stage of your product, new or established, in SEO or in PPC, you will want to ensure to target only relevant keywords. And because it will potentially bring you higher conversion rate, higher engagement in anything, not just on Amazon, but on Google, you will have, for example, on your website, you have relevant content. That means you will increase the time on site, which is also an important a metric for Google to decide whether to rank highly for your website, right? So in PPC, depending on the stage of your product, right? New launch or established, I'm talking about Amazon PPC, you will decide whether or not to go for big volume keywords, which I will explain further in the next lesson of how to target keywords in Amazon PPC and SEO. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope this session has helped you really understand fundamentals of keyword, which is very important before you structure your PPC and SEO strategies. Any questions, just let me know, give a comment, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.